There's a battle happening in your brain right now, and whoever wins controls whether you'll be rich or broke in 10 years. Every time you open your banking app, scroll past an ad, or walk into a store, two parts of your brain are fighting for control. One wants instant pleasure, the other wants future wealth. And here's the twist: the part pushing you toward broke feels way more powerful. Not because you're weak, but because your brain has been hacked. The good news? Once you understand the neuroscience behind this, you can rewire the entire system. And when you do, financial discipline stops feeling like torture and starts feeling automatic. Let's break down exactly how this works. Your brain runs on a simple chemical called dopamine, and it has a fascinating relationship with money. Scientists discovered that dopamine neurons literally encode the reward value of cash. Your brain treats money like food or any other survival resource. When you anticipate spending, dopamine floods your system. When you actually swipe that card, your brain lights up like a Christmas tree. Studies show the act of purchasing triggers the same neural pathways as eating chocolate or playing a video game. That surge feels incredible, but it's also incredibly dangerous. Here's where it gets tricky. Dopamine isn't actually the pleasure chemical, it's the anticipation chemical. It fires when you're about to get something, not when you have it. That's why scrolling through Amazon feels so good. Every product is a potential dopamine hit. Every add to cart is a micro rush. Your brain is chasing the promise of satisfaction, but the satisfaction itself barely registers. This is why you can buy something you've wanted for months, feel excited for about 15 minutes, and then immediately start wanting something else. Your brain got its dopamine from the hunt, not the trophy. The really wild part? This system was designed to keep you alive. 10,000 years ago, dopamine motivated you to find food, seek shelter, and pursue resources. But in the modern world, that same system is being weaponized against you. Every retailer, every app, every ad has been engineered by teams of psychologists to trigger that anticipation loop. Your ancient survival brain is now living in a world designed to make you spend, and it's losing the fight. Before we continue, I'm Adam. Subscribe now if you're serious about building real wealth, not just dreaming about it. The tolerance problem. Now here's where financial discipline gets really hard. When you get too many easy dopamine hits from spending, your brain adapts through a process called downregulation. Essentially, your dopamine receptors decrease in number. It's like your brain is turning down the volume on satisfaction. Now you need bigger purchases, more frequent spending, or flashier items just to feel the same level of excitement you used to get from smaller buys. You're not becoming materialistic. You're developing a tolerance, just like with any addictive substance. This creates a devastating cycle. You buy something and get a small rush. That rush fades fast. You feel a little empty, maybe even guilty. So you look for the next purchase to feel better. But because your dopamine system is now desensitized, you need something bigger or better to get the same hit. Before you know it, you're spending more than you make, financing a lifestyle you can't afford, and wondering why you can't seem to stop. One study found that people with spending problems show the same neural patterns as individuals with substance abuse issues. The same craving, the same loss of control, the same cycle of temporary relief, followed by regret. The scariest part? You probably don't even realize it's happening. You just notice that the things that used to make you happy don't anymore. That new phone doesn't feel as exciting as you thought it would. Those clothes you bought last month are already boring. Even experiences that used to thrill you feel muted. You're not depressed. Your dopamine baseline has shifted. Your brain has been recalibrated to expect constant stimulation, and anything less feels like deprivation. This is why people who make six figures can still feel broke. Their spending has scaled up with their income because their dopamine tolerance has scaled up too. The millionaire brain difference. So, what separates people who build wealth from people who stay stuck? It's not intelligence, it's not luck, it's how their brains process delayed gratification. Research on self-made millionaires reveals something fascinating. 94% of them saved at least 20% of their income from their very first paycheck, long before they were wealthy. They weren't saving because they had extra money. They were saving because their brains were wired differently. Or more accurately, they wired their brains differently. The famous Stanford marshmallow experiment tested kids' ability to delay gratification. Wait 15 minutes to get 2 marshmallows instead of eating one immediately. Decades later, researchers followed up with those same kids. The ones who waited had better financial outcomes, lower debt, higher net worth, and more stable lives. But here's the key insight. Delayed gratification isn't just about willpower. It's about what your brain finds rewarding. Kids who waited weren't suffering through it. They were mentally focusing on the bigger reward, essentially training their dopamine system to value future gains over instant pleasure. Millionaires do the same thing with money. They practice what researchers call want avoidance. They actively dodge purchases that feel good now, but hurt them later. They make their savings invisible by auto-transferring money the moment they get paid, so their brain never registers it as spendable. They deliberately avoid spendthrift friends, not because they're snobs, but because spending behavior is contagious. Your brain unconsciously mimics the people around you. If your friends are dropping money on brunch and bottle service, your dopamine system will crave the same. If your friends are excited about index funds and passive income, your brain will start finding those things rewarding instead. The difference isn't that wealthy people have superhuman self-control. It's that they've trained their brains to release dopamine for different actions. When they save, invest, or pass on an impulse buy, they get a neurochemical reward. For most people, resisting a purchase feels like punishment. For them, it feels like winning. That's not genetic, that's learned. And if it's learned, it can be taught. The rewiring strategy. So how do you actually flip the script? How do you retrain your brain to crave financial discipline instead of instant gratification? It starts with something neuroscientists call dopamine fasting, but the real name should be dopamine recalibration. You're not eliminating dopamine, you're resetting what triggers it. The first step is identifying your highest stimulation spending habits. What purchases give you the biggest rush with the least effort? Online shopping, DoorDash, whatever it is, you need to temporarily remove it. Pick a time frame, 7 days minimum, 14 is better. During this window, you're creating artificial scarcity for easy dopamine. Your brain will hate this at first. You'll feel restless, irritable, maybe even anxious. That's withdrawal, and it's a sign the process is working. Your dopamine receptors are recalibrating. Push through it. After 3 to 5 days, something shifts. Activities that felt boring before, reading, cooking, exercising, even just thinking, start feeling engaging again. Your brain is rediscovering satisfaction in effort. But you can't just remove spending triggers. You have to replace them with wealth-building dopamine sources. Set up automatic transfers to savings or investment accounts the day you get paid. Watch that balance grow. Your brain will start associating payday with wealth accumulation instead of spending freedom. Track your net worth weekly. Celebrate small wins. Every $1,000 saved. Every month without impulse purchases. These tiny dopamine hits rewire your reward system to crave financial progress instead of consumption. Environment design is critical here. Make spending hard and saving easy. Delete shopping apps. Unsubscribe from promotional emails. Put a 48-hour rule on any non-essential purchase. If you still want it 2 days later, fine, but most of the time the dopamine craving will have passed. Meanwhile, make wealth building frictionless. Automate everything. Use apps that round up purchases and invest the difference. Set up separate accounts for different goals so you can see progress. Your brain needs visual feedback to release dopamine, so give it scorecards that reward the right behavior. The compound effect. Here's the part that changes everything. Once your dopamine system recalibrates, discipline doesn't feel like discipline anymore. It feels like your default setting. Neuroscience research shows that repeated choices physically strengthen neural pathways. Every time you choose saving over spending, you're building thicker, faster connections in your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning and self-control. Meanwhile, the impulsive pathways in your limbic system weaken from lack of use. You're literally upgrading your brain's operating system. This is why millionaires say wealth building becomes easier over time. It's not that they suddenly have more willpower, it's that their brains have been rewired to find investing more rewarding than consuming. Studies on self-control and wealth show that people with high self-control don't rely on willpower at all. They've automated good decisions and eliminated bad options, so their brain never has to fight itself. When discipline becomes your brain's preferred state, money starts accumulating effortlessly. You're not sacrificing. You're just operating from a different reward system. The compound effect works on 2 levels. Financially, your saved and invested money grows exponentially, but neurologically, your discipline also compounds. Each good decision makes the next one easier. Each month of saving strengthens the neural pathways that make you want to save more. After 6 months, you'll look back and realize that the purchases you used to crave don't even tempt you anymore. Your dopamine baseline has shifted. What once felt like deprivation now feels like freedom. Right now, your brain is being pulled in 2 directions. One path leads to instant gratification, dopamine crashes, and perpetual financial stress. The other leads to delayed rewards, compounding wealth, and the kind of freedom that actually lasts. The beautiful thing? You get to choose which neural pathway you strengthen. Every purchase you skip, every dollar you save, every investment you make is a vote for the brain and the bank account you're building. Your dopamine system is ready to be rewired. You only question is whether you're ready to do it.